I can't even look at this. I'm about to pick up my computer and throw this shit across the room. Believe me. And I don't know how I would handle this if I ran into this guy on the street. I could only hope that I handle it like Billy. But Billy, I just want to tell you, brother, as a friend who's known you for years, I admire you for what you did. I'm so proud of you for how you handled that situation. Hey everyone, Corey here. It is about 3:15 a.m. in the morning over here in Austin, Texas, as of this recording right now. And I just got off of a flight from London. Big 16-hour flight, just got in the house, and what's the first thing that I do? I sit my ass down in front of this camera and start running my mouth. I really must be addicted to doing this. But I'm doing this also because I recorded a video yesterday, whatever yesterday was for London time. I don't know what the time difference is anymore. I'm so tired and confused. But I recorded the video, and I did not realize that as I was recording on my phone, it was recording in 720p. And it just did not look that good. So being the perfectionists that we are around here, we all said, let's go ahead and record that over and try and get the video up. And that's what I'm doing right now. So I'm talking about a specific thing. You probably know by the title of the video if it's on YouTube. I'm talking about Billy Brooks right here. I'll get into that in a little bit. So with what I'm about to talk about with him, some of you already heard it. I'm just probably going to be repeating some of those things. Stick around and watch again if you like. But if you don't, I understand because, as I said, I'm just kind of doing the same thing I did before in that video that we did not use. But it was streamed at one time. I'm hoping to get Billy in here to talk about this at some point, but I didn't want to make it too awkward because some of the things I'm about to say might be, I don't know, could come across a little corny and might make things a little awkward. But I'll just get this out in my system right now, and then hopefully we can hear Billy with his side of everything at some point. Anyway, I also felt compelled to talk about this because I really want to express my feelings about what happened to our dear friend, Billy Brooks. You might know Billy Brooks. If you don't know him, you definitely heard about them teeth right there, those choppers. And he's all smiles right here. But while I was away, I was getting bombarded by messages, emails, and a couple other things about how Billy was in this really, by most people out there, they consider this to be a repulsive and just angering and sad situation. Now, also there's some people out there, you know, the internet being what it is, there are some people who say that, oh, well, yeah, Billy definitely started it. Billy definitely had a hand in what happened with that. What happened? Well, let me just go ahead and show you. And I'll explain more after we watch this. Basically, Billy was going into work. And as he was trying to go through the door, someone who was blocking the door, he had to get past them. He said something to them. And this is what went down. And it should be like, excuse me. I wasn't even in your way. How about you move around? I'm working. Well, I'm right here. How about I'm not even in your way. You fucking faggot. You're a black. Whoa! Wait a minute. All of that anger, all of those aggressive racial slurs, all of that was because Billy said, "Excuse me?" All because Billy was being polite. So I'm going to elaborate on this in a little bit, but this gets crazier. I'll show you a little bit more. You guys are violent. 62% of the crime is made by black males. So I'm scared. I feel like you're going to shoot me, honestly. You're probably going to kill me. Wait a minute. Hold on. So you're using this moment to say how violent black people are, to say how aggressive black people are, to say how crimes are being committed by black people, all because a black person used manners? All because a black person was being courteous? People, let me explain this situation to you with Billy. For anybody, because there's a lot to explain here with Billy. So for anybody who wants to sit up here and blame Billy for what's happening, then you're just a piece of shit racist too. what Billy was trying to do is, this is on 6th Street. Billy does a show called Esther's Follies on 6th Street. And this piece of shit right here is in front of his building. He's in front of the door Billy has to enter. Billy was going to work. You know, being a gainfully employed black person. So I know what your statistics tell you. We don't have jobs because we're lazy, but he was going to work. He was going to his job. And that guy was in his way. So all he was trying to do was enter the building to his place of work. I want to, first of all, what I really want to come in and say is that before I get into anything about how hateful and how just how angering this is, and as I said, just how sad this is, I want to come in and start out with a positive. I want to say how proud I am of Billy and the way he handled this situation. Because another thing that I thought was said in the comment section, I don't even know why I'm reading that shit. It's nothing but just a toxic waste dump of a swamp out there. But one of the things that I read was about how he handled himself, which was not satisfactory to some people out there, probably some black people. One comment said that I have never been disappointed so much in a black man. I guess hinting that you don't think he handled it well enough. You don't think he stood up for himself. You don't think because he didn't handle this with violence, because he didn't step up and beat the shit out this dude, all of a sudden that makes him a disappointment. Let me explain something. This guy was baiting Billy. He baits anybody out there that he's trying to do this to. You know, this guy's doing this because, as you saw, he's trying to prove that black people are savages, aggressive, violent. You heard what he was saying. And so he was trying to make Billy fit that description. And any smart person who can see that is not taking the bait. And Billy was smart enough to see through that. But also think about this. These days, what's the possibility of some racist person out there getting attacked? What's the possibility of a racist person, you know, being in a situation where they try to make themselves a martyr? They play the victim. They can get a payday. They go off and start some racist ass GoFundMe, and then they get people who actually support them. So you not only are you falling for this person's bait and them using it to prove their point, but they're also collecting a payday. So it was very smart. And it's very smart for anybody to not fall for that. I know it's hard. I know. And no one wants to be belittled. No one, and something like this is so angering that, of course, I mean, every time I see this, I want to choke this little dude. I do. I can't even look at this. I'm about to pick up my computer and throw this shit across the room. Believe me. And I don't know how I would handle this if I ran into this guy on the street. I could only hope that I handle it like Billy. But Billy, I just want to tell you, brother, as a friend who's known you for years, I admire you for what you did. I'm so proud of you for how you handled that situation. You handled it not only with composure, you even handled it with a little bit of humor. I mean, if you look at him, he actually, Billy knows that he can beat the shit out of this guy. You know, that's another thing. He's confident to know, like, I don't have to prove a point. Look, I mean, the picture speaks for itself. Billy doesn't have to prove anything. And like I said, he went in and not only handled this with dignity, but I like the way that he just kind of just was aloof about it because he knows how stupid this is.
Yeah?
Yes, you are. What?
Black Jewish.
You're an Israelite?
No, I'm a black Jew. Ethiopian there.
That's not a real thing. That's not a real thing.
You just getting closer to me.
The dude is even thrown off a little bit. Like he doesn't have a script for what Billy's doing there. These kind of idiots come out there with a certain script, and they in their minds they are so sure that it is going to go this kind of way that Billy threw this guy for a loop. He is so insecure, he is so desperate for attention that he is just a worse imitation of somebody who's already done this.
You know who Chud The Builder is? You just can't be saying slurs. That's just not.
Do you know who Chud The Builder is? This clown can't even get his own material. Get your own back, man. This has been done. And I hate to say this about Chud The Builder, but he did it better. I mean, I'm still quoting Chipping Out. I hate that dude, but hey, he brought his own spin to this racism. He did his own thing, as disgusting as it was. This guy is just a poor, weak-ass, punk-ass imitation of what somebody else has done. And I'm gonna tell you something else. This fool's racism don't even feel sincere. You should see what he does next. He's around a bunch of white people right here. Pay attention to what he does now.
Bro, what are you talking about, bro? You're drunk, bro. Bro, now I got all these crackers like ganging up on me, bro.
This man has a slur for everybody out there. It's not only blacks and gays. I'm sure he's gone out there and harassing women, but I mean everybody. White people. Look at these crackers out here. You know, this dude, this is just a poor attempt to be edgy. I'm gonna go out and offend everybody. Everybody's gonna catch my wrath. Man, he's just a watered down wannabe version of all these online attention seekers. And as I said, as much as I hate to say it, bitch, they are better than you. I find it astounding that this is he says he's Mexican. Look, I'm just telling you what I read. I don't know what this guy is, but at first people were saying that he was Indian. Now he's talking about he's Mexican, or people saying he's Mexican. If this is true, I mean, listen, if you are any kind of brown, I don't care what flavor, any kind of brown, it is crazy that you decide to go out there and be racist against black people. That's a whole other level of desperation, because you want so much attention. You want attention from the people that hate you. You want to get that validation from any place that you can. Brother, that's sad. So people, don't waste your time on this cockroach, and don't stoop to this this person's level, because and this is why I want to talk about this. I really hate to give this guy attention, but it's out there. It happened to one of our own right here. I want to talk about it and talk about the positive things right here, and just enlighten people on just how shitty and fake this person is. And also, I just want to encourage people, because again, the internet being what it is, there are people who are stooping to his level. So don't look at this guy. If he is Mexican, if he's Indian, do not go out there and do what him and people like him are doing, where you take this person and you blame a whole group of people, or you lash out at a whole group of people because of one idiot. Because what I saw online, when people thought that he was Indian, somebody's out there, you trying to be racist and you smell like curry. Hey, come on, man. I mean, first of all, it's not that clever. Yeah, that is some low ass hanging fruit right there. Curry, that's what we're going to. I just got through hanging out with a dude from India and made good friends with a guy from India in London, and very diverse group of people. They all don't eat curry. A lot of them do, and curry is nice. But let's not go to stereotypes and lazy forms of racism because of one person. Same thing with when people heard he was Mexican. Oh, and look at this beat around here. Come on, man. If we're going to criticize this guy, do not do it by becoming what they are. That's you're just as ugly as them when you do that. And like I said, do not waste your time with this guy, man. And a lot of people don't. More people than not are like Billy. Look at Billy. Hey. More people than not are like Billy, man. Because like in Fight Club, if you've ever seen Fight Club, Edward Norton's out there trying to get people to join Fight Club by starting fights. And it's hard because people They don't want to fight. People don't want to be aggressive. People don't want to be violent. You know what people want to do? They want to go about their day and leave people the hell alone, like this punk ass should do. So, you know, a lot of people are ignoring this guy, and I'm happy that they are. And people like him because it's not just about him. That's why I'm talking about this. I'm not trying to give this guy, again, any more marketing than he needs, but this is a trend that's happening right now with people, thanks to people like Chud the Builder encouraging these wannabe influencers out there, influencing in the worst way possible. So, but however, this guy I'm talking about, leave him alone. Don't talk about him. Leave this, you know, just ignore this cockroach right here. However, he is still harassing people by aggressively using slurs, derogatory language, and he's using it as a form of assault. This guy is out here, he is harassing people, all right? And I cannot, and for me, I think he's assaulting people, man. And I can't blame anyone who feels threatened and feels the need to defend themselves, because that's what these people always say. When they go out and they harass people, I always have the right to defend myself. I always have the right to stand my ground. Well, you know what, man? Other people have the right to do that too. And that's exactly what happened. He went out there. What did he do? That FOMO, that around and find out. We all knew it was going to happen. It happens to every one of them. He's no exception.
Bro, all right, bro, chill. Chill, bro.
He will use, him and other people like him will use this situation to say, see, I told you so. Look at him. Let me tell you something. This is not confined to any one group. This is not a black thing. This is not a white thing. Anybody that goes out there and harasses constantly any group, you're going to with the wrong one. Okay? Go out there and mess with it. What's the nicest group of people I can think of? Nuns. Nice little old ladies who dress like penguins. Nothing, you never hear anything violent about them. No, actually you do. I heard in Catholic school, they'll whoop that ass. They'll crack your knuckles. But most are pretty nice. But if you harass them, you keep going out there and saying mean things to them, derogatory things to them, I guarantee you one of them sweet little old ladies is going to turn around and beat your ass because they're tired of your shit. This is not, don't try to put this on one group. Oh, look at black people. No, you mess with any group out there, you're going to find one. I mentioned this before. It's a movie called Grizzly Man. A man went out there in the woods and started messing with all these bears. He was actually trying to be friends with them, but the bears were confused. They're like, we don't want to deal with this, but all right, whatever. We're confused, but we're going to leave him alone. He went out there and got killed. Him and a woman that he was dating got killed by the wrong bear. Even the park ranger said that, yeah, he was the mean one. He was grumpy. He didn't want to be bothered by anybody. He messed with the wrong one. So even you mess with the wrong, you keep harassing a species, one of them is going to whoop your ass or eat you. So it's not, don't even try to make it, don't even try to like stereotype one group as, oh, look at them. I kept poking at them and then they got angry. I heard this dude is leaving Austin. This guy that was harassing Billy, because he said it's getting a little bit too dangerous for him out here. Or, and this is just a thought, as crazy as this may be, how about leaving people the f alone? And then you won't get a beat down. How about try to be nice? Austin is one of the friendliest cities, man. Everybody who comes to Austin, they walk away or they leave town and they say, wow, the people there were so nice. Why don't your bitch ass try to be one of them? But on second thought, no, please leave. Please leave. But ass whooping is what it takes to get you out of here, fine. But I don't encourage violence. I don't want anybody out there to think that I'm encouraging you to go find these people and somebody like him and fight them and beat them down. I'm not doing that. But I will say this. and I hope this doesn't come across the wrong way. This is going on with so many people who are doing this and then turn around and use excuse to say, it's my free speech to do this. It's my free speech to hurl these hurtful and demeaning and these horrible slurs to people. This is America. It's my right to free speech. Well, you know what else people have a right to? People have a right to go about their day while minding their own business and not have to worry about being harassed by assholes out there who are just trying to ruin people's day so they can just get a little clout and likes and views online and get some notoriety. You know, people have a right to not be harassed by those people, man. And that's what's going on here. This guy and people like him, they're harassing people. Billy was harassed, okay? And as far as I'm concerned, Billy was attacked because this harassment, when he's using that language, like I said, it's so aggressive. It is, and it's so loud and it's so mean that like this is an attack, y'all, okay? And people have a right to defend themselves if they feel like they're attacked because, again, more and more people are being encouraged by this. And if that's going to be the case, I mean, what's the response? People are not going to keep taking that shit, okay? And this is a message for anybody else who feels encouraged by this and wants to carry on the legacy of being an asshole, all right? People are not going to take that shit, okay? Just because you have been influenced by the history of this country, and that's what, and people, I don't want to go too deep with this, but unfortunately, the history of this country, especially when it comes to black people, they feel encouraged by this. This country has an ugly history of a double standard of who can defend themselves and who can't. All right? America was founded on this whole notion. The foundation of America is founded on the right to defend yourself, from the American Revolution to the right to bear arms. You know, the NRA, you know, you hear so many people out there pumping up the NRA. For so many years, that has not been the case when it comes especially to black people. This country has murdered people, has murdered black people just for wanting to defend themselves at a time of racism and wanting to defend their communities. I mean, there's a movie out there about Fred Hampton. You can read up on Fred Hampton, and he's not the only one, but you know, he was a guy that was about protecting his community. And he was gathering all kind of people, black and white, together. He was murdered by this country, by this government. Malcolm X never preached violence, okay? But he has that reputation, all right? He has this reputation of being militant. He had this reputation of being violent. He had a picture of himself holding a rifle, looking outside the window. They weaponized that picture to make him look violent. Now, if that'd been a white man, that would be a poster for the NRA right there. You know, because he's actually looking at people who might be a threat to him. But all he said was, I have the right to defend myself, just like anybody else. This man wasn't violent. In fact, he found peace and acceptance at Mecca. And let's not forget, people who aren't even, you know, but people who are attacked and murdered while defending themselves. Trayvon Martin was killed by this piece of shit right here, George Zimmerman. And he got away with it. Trayvon Martin was a black kid and was seen as more aggressive. And the state Florida had the stand your ground, which I doubt would work as well if it was the other way around. But you see what I'm saying? So these people feel emboldened by this history right here. And also by this political climate. You know, let's be honest. But I'm gonna tell you, man, history ain't gonna keep repeating itself, okay? All right, so listen, you know, and for those who feel encouraged by some shitty attention seeker out there, because there are people who really want that attention, you'll get it all right. And you get your ass whooped. Be careful what line you cross, because everybody, and again, this not just a black thing. There are a lot of people out there who do not. People just want to live their lives. They don't even. These guys. These were white guys on 6th Street, right here. They didn't want to hear that shit. Most people just want to. They don't care about other people's color and sexual orientation and whatever you know is your problem. People just want to live their lives, man. And I can tell you, there are more people who are getting more and more people who are getting lined up to whoop your ass more than you realize. Be careful what line you cross, because people are getting tired of this shit. It's not whatever fantasy you have about people gonna get your back when you're out there messing with these other groups, thinking that these other groups don't have the right to do whatever you think. Be careful. I do feel bad that I was out of town when this happened to Billy, because this happened a week before everybody heard about it. Billy didn't post this. This guy did. And it makes me think that's why Billy wasn't here, because I felt like I don't want to put Billy on the spot. I just, I want to actually talk to him to see if he wants to talk about it. But I feel bad that I wasn't here for him, because if he didn't tell us about it, then it makes me feel like he was probably feeling very upset about this. When I say upset, even though he was laughing, even though he's making jokes, even though we joke about this kind of stuff, man, it's still a burden to carry. It's still hurtful when these things happen. And it's not always, you put on a smiling face, but it's not always easy to talk about. This stuff is, you internalize it sometimes, and sometimes you don't know how to talk about it. You don't want to bring everybody else down when you talk about it. But I just wanted to let Billy know that, he's got friends. We're here for him. I wish I was here for him, and again, I just want to let him know that. And if anything else, I just want to let him know that I think he handled this as I think he handled extremely well as anybody could. And it's very hard to endure something like this. And so, I'm Billy, I'm letting you know, man, I'm here for you if you need us. We're all here for you. So that's it. That's it. I didn't think I would be able to get through this at 2 a.m. in the morning. What am I talking about? Almost 4 a.m. in the morning. But I got it out my system. I can rest easy now. Glad to be back in Austin. See you on the next one. Love you all. Glad we have a supportive community. Not a bunch of people like this. And your support also helps. So, hey, you know what? Send Billy some love, man. And he knows that you're out there for him. Send him some love. Thank you for loving us and supporting us. Love you guys. And, hey, stay toasty. Well, would you look at that? You made it to the end of the video. That means you really like us. So just go ahead and press that like button and subscribe while you're at it. And check out our other channels, our social media like Instagram, TikTok, and our Patreon, where we have new stuff coming up all the time. And we'll see you on the next video.